InternationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
Hello guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of The Rational Investor. We're going to do a normal daily brief update this time, except not live. I'm filming this maybe like 2.5 hours before the daily brief's supposed to go live, just because I am not going to have time at that time. Actually, it's 3 hours before. Anyway, you can obviously tell I'm in a different location on another amazing trip, just living life in Southeast Asia. You go on lots of trips when you live here. I think we're going to talk about, as usual, the S&P, right here, S&P, and then I will talk about crypto. It looks like everything's about to break down here. I'm a little bit concerned, so we're going to definitely get into things here, especially related to crypto. I've got a couple stocks I want to look at. We'll look at the DXY. We'll look at what's going on with global liquidity. I mean, obviously nothing's really changed here, and we're going to look at what's going on with the news. So I'll start with that. Hopefully the mic sounds okay. I'm doing something new where I'm using my phone to be the camera and the microphone. So hopefully it seemed okay in my tests, but who knows? I'm going to check OBS really quick, make sure it's running still yet. Everything's good. So let's just get started. PPI came in today, and it came in a little bit above expectations. That is not a good thing, and probably is the reason the market is rolling over a little bit. We definitely don't want to see that. Unemployment claims are in line though, so no issues there. If we jump over to reverse repo, I haven't talked about this in a while, but you can see that it's at the lowest level ever, which is interesting because you would think that the global liquidity would spike when the reverse repo is pulled down, but it's such a little amount that it's not really making a difference in the grand total. It's really only 200 billion left. It's not going to tick this up much. You'd get up to like here, 2.4. That's it. Reverse repo is not really a thing anymore. I don't think it matters that much, and I don't even think it's something we need to track anymore. I'm just going to close it from my original investments. You know I like to talk about the fear and greed index. Let's see what's going on over here. This is for the market. So right now we're still in fear, which means that in a way my theory that I talked about 2 weeks ago about us needing one more high before the rollover could end up playing out. But we'll look at the market in a little bit to see what it is forecasting from a technical standpoint, because I have this nagging feeling that we could roll over at any moment. Same with crypto. Crypto, we're still in the fear area, but the market looks, it's in a weird spot where we're either going to jump up to new highs, or at least around there, or we're going to roll over and go down to like 44K. That's in reference to Bitcoin. Anyway, let's go to the market. I'm probably going to make this like a 20-minute video. I don't want to go too long. I'm trying to get you guys as much information as possible in as little time as possible, because I think everyone here values their time a lot. So, okay, let's go to the S&P. Looking at the S&P, we go to a weekly chart. And you can see how it's struggling here on the weekly, just kind of ranging. But there is a chance that we could pump higher to this 4.669, 6,000 level that I've talked about many times before finally having that final rollover. But on a daily chart, you can see that we're creating almost like a weird wedge pattern, just building up this final crescendo. And ever since we broke down, we haven't actually made any kind of higher high with RSI. We're just making lower lows, which is inherently bearish. And all the market's doing, I think, is washing people out. All it has to do is sit up here for 2, 3, 4 months while the big guys distribute their profits from the past. If we go to a weekly chart, from the past 2 years, this was their profits since basically 2022 all the way to now. They bought down here. See how we sat down here for a while. Now they've got to distribute up here. It takes time. It can't just happen right away. They have so much in the system that they have to take time to distribute and distribute and distribute. They have to sell it to someone, so they're trying to sell the retail traders. So right now, I'm cautious because of what I'm seeing on the daily chart here. I'm very cautious. I don't really have a directional bias here. Weekly chart is still, if you look at the 60 here, it's still technically a little bit bullish, but I don't like that 60 is actually the area where the VIP line is sitting. So that would be considered a midpoint. Right over here, I think this indicator, anything about 50, it says is bullish. I don't have a directional read here. I really don't. I wish I did. Chaos says 4.669 needs to be hit. Watch my video from last week about chaos. And oh, by the way, school is starting in 1 week. If you know anyone that might want to take the school, now is a great time. Not many people are interested in the market right now. There's very I think if you want to be in a class that is not too crowded, then this is definitely a time to consider taking the TRI course when you can get that valuable one-on-one attention from our teachers, which is the big thing that we do at TRI. It's different than other places, right? So consider, if you're watching this video and you're new to TRI, consider it because this is the time when nobody's thinking about the market, nobody's looking at the market, when you want to actually get involved with the market. I'm going to check OBS again. Okay, it didn't stop. So this is the S&P. I don't have a direction here. I'm just going to wait and see. We have to keep an eye on this. It looks like on the 4 hour it's starting to turn around and we might roll over. But this could go either way. I really think that there's no real direction here yet. We've got to see what the Fed is going to do. How much do they cut rates? And then what happens with the market going into October? I think that a lot of this has to do with politics, and I'm sure that Biden and Kamala Harris, if the market drops at all, I'm sure they're on the phone with Janet Yellen and Papa Powell trying to tell them, okay, whatever you have to do, bring liquidity into the market, pump the market. We want to stay in office, pump the market, pump the market. We need to say that we have a good economy. So that is really weighing on my thoughts here, where technical analysis kind of goes out the window. And it's like, okay, well, if they're juicing the market with liquidity, of course it's going to go up. So that's something you have to be aware of over the next 3 months, is that possibility of liquidity being injected and us going to all-time highs again. I feel like a broken record with all-time highs lately. Okay, so that's the S&P. I've been watching things like Boeing. I talked about Boeing a few times, and I was quite bearish on the breakdown. I don't like how it looks on a monthly chart, especially. I think I showed before. Here's 2 weeks. It doesn't look good. We broke down on RSI here, and also here, serious breakdown. 1 month is not terrible, but you can see how the MACD is bearish. RSI is leaning bearish. If the rest of the market rolls over, Boeing's gonna it could drop all the way down to, I don't see why it wouldn't drop to 100 or lower. It's just not doing very well, and it's not something I would feel comfortable holding here. It did crush the lows here and it's bouncing back, but I just wouldn't feel good about it. I think this was an A, B, and we've got a CD that's going to come next. So we're at 78.6. You can see an 88.6 is down here. I would want to buy down here, 88.600 area. That's where I would be interested in Boeing. Tesla, I know a lot of you guys are interested in Tesla. Tesla's doing okay, but I still feel like it's like in a midpoint. There's really no great buy signal here. I was hoping with the Optimus robot that we would, when we broke out up here above this downtrend line, we would take off, but we came down, retested it, and now we're looking slightly positive. And I am still long. I'm holding some Tesla long, but I don't have as much conviction as I had before about this play. I mean, on a monthly chart, it looks great. We just turned bullish on a monthly. And if you do something like this, right, if we look at right here, you can see Tesla's just about to cross over on this downtrend. Look at that. That is definitely a bullish signal. We're green across the board on RSI. So Tesla looks great, and if it can break above 270, let's actually be conservative with this, then we could go all the way up to 755. That's what I'm targeting. That's what I'm looking for. I would like to own more Tesla, but I'm concerned about the rest of the market, so I don't have a huge position like I would like to have. Kind of just watching and waiting and seeing, and if we can push up here above 240, I'll feel a lot better about that position. So that's Tesla. I'm leaning bullish. there any other stocks that I want to look at? I really haven't been looking at stocks too much lately. We did have the article that came out about Baba. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a great article about why TRI was bullish on Alibaba. So and as you can see, it's already heading higher, bounced off the 2.618 with target being at 100. So I'm looking forward to that target being hit. Okay, so that's Alibaba. NIO is another Chinese like charging company that I think recently broke out and it's looking really good. Look at this here. Hopefully you guys don't hear those horns in the background. Look at that push higher. It was at $4 just 2 weeks ago, and now we're pushing all the way to 540. If this extended W plays out, no reason why we couldn't go up to like $12, $14. I like it. It is going up with the rest of the Chinese stocks. Chinese battery. This is a Chinese battery company, I believe. So it should continue pushing up until 1.618. Then you'll get your rejection, such as like this. Boop. Push up here, and then you play in here, and then you either stop here in reverse, or you end up going all the way up to the 14. That's what I'm seeing on NEO. Okay, so I want to look at the dollar, so that's gonna play on things as well. So dollar did hit a 9 and looks like it's trying to reverse, and it hit the 200-week moving average. That's a big resistance area. So if the dollar starts bouncing, then the market's gonna have an even harder time, and that's what I'm also concerned about. But I think they're doing their best to pressure the dollar lower, because they don't want people pay attention to where the stock market is more than where the dollar value is. I think like the general public. So it's in their best interest to push the market higher rather than and then push the dollar lower. So I'm leaning towards the dollar still falling to like 97, 98, which is the bottom of this massive uptrending parallel channel. Going back to all the way, I mean, you could draw it since 2014, and it's pretty much followed it. So we're kind of in this channel. It seems to respect the midpoints very well. It makes sense that it stopped here with the 200-week moving average and also that downtrend line. So that's where the dollar is. I can see it drop lower a little bit, but I think they're going to try to keep it in this area. I wouldn't expect anything big. Apparently gold crushed recently. Oh, it didn't. It was looking fine. Why did somebody? I read somewhere that it got crushed. So this is my original selling zone for gold, and now we're getting even higher into my selling zone. If we go to a monthly chart, I mean, this is a pretty big breakout for gold. And if you look at this as the range, like this was kind of the conservative range. I almost want to make it a bit higher like that, because this is where it was being pushed into, and we got the 1.618 rejection here. 3,000 could be the gold target. I don't see why that isn't possible. And I think you have kind of like almost like a 5-wave series here, where you have like this, and then we're in wave 3 here, which could go all the way up to like 2,700, and then you get your pullback, and then we get to that 3,000 target. That's what I could see happening with gold. So a little bit higher push, and then we reverse, and then we're going to push finally to 3,000. That's more obvious. I mean, you can see how obvious the rise is on a monthly chart. Same with silver, right? So silver not doing as well, but my target is still sitting at 36. That's the target based on these monthly charts. So I expect silver to go there at some point. The question is when. You're probably asking me like when? I want to leverage the shit out of this. When is it going higher? Let's do a chaos of this. That brings you up to like 38. That's a little bit higher. At RSI here. And weekly chart. Weekly chart looks like it's bouncing, but it's still a bit bearish. Daily 3-day. Solid for reversal. I don't mind longing silver here, honestly. You just take a long here. Stop kind of below these lows, and you just target up here at like 35, 36. I think 35, 36 is a solid area. 2-to-1 risk reward. You could make it tighter stop and just below these lows, but there's a chance you will get stopped out. But it gives you a 4-to-1 risk reward ratio. I would probably go with this one because I'm leaning towards that this is not going to pull back and it's just going to head higher. but there is a possibility you could get stopped out. So just keep that in mind. All right, that's silver. I think that's enough with the legacy market. Oh, I wanted to talk about treasury bonds, TLT. Look at this. I keep talking about them. Look at how they keep heading higher. I'm going to just keep pounding the table on these. All the way up to 150 is where I could see us going. Nice 50% return. As the Fed lowers interest rates, it would make sense that this would take off. So simple. You can see how when they raised interest rates, it just dropped off a cliff. And now that they're lowering interest rates again, it should skyrocket. All right. The real thing that I know you guys are interested in. Let me check that my OBS is still running. Okay. Running. Good. Bitcoin. Crypto. What's going on? Are we going to the moon, or are we going down here to like 40,000 crap land? First, let's look at liquidity. So I just recently refreshed this. Let's look at like a one week. See what the liquidation heat map says. Yeah, so more liquidations to the downside and the upside. That's kind of obvious, right? I mean, we go to see what we get. Wow. Huge amount down here at 44,000. I don't know why they wouldn't go for this. Like, why not tag that level? It's not as obvious down here, but I don't see why they wouldn't tag that and then go up here to like 80 and 90 and stop everyone out up there. I'm just looking at all the time frames. Yeah, this is massive. So if you look up here, right, we've got like 500 million, 400, and then down here we've got 500 million, 500, 400, 400, 530. Definitely seems like a lot more to the downside, all the way down to like 42,000. It makes complete sense to me that they would run. Essentially, they would just do like a wick. You see the wick that happened here at the beginning of August? Like, just do one more wick down like that. Wash everyone out. That makes the most sense to me. And that's kind of what I'm looking at here, especially on like a 4-hour chart where the Bitcoin's starting to look like it's breaking down. Breakdown from here would make a lot of sense, especially with the way altcoins are behaving. Like, look at how much Rune is quickly, like, it came up here, stopped everyone out, distributed, and now it's rolling over. Same with OP. I mean, if you're going to run the lows, you might as well take out the highs first, and that's what they did. Same with Solana. Sorry. Being in this new place. Must be dust mites in here or something. Cool. Yeah, so Bitcoin looks like it could roll over. That's what that looks like on a 2-hour chart to me. 1-hour chart. On a 12-hour, we have this 8 and 9 that's come in. Daily's getting rejected. As long as we're below this, my trend heuristic channel and 200-day moving average, I've got to lean bearishly. I can't be bullish on Bitcoin here, and I think this has got to be the target. This is your resistance level. If it gets down here, I would buy as much as possible. I don't think you're going to get lower than that. That's your chance. That's what you want. They're going to just do this. They're going to poop. Okay, they give you like 1 hour, and then we're just going to do this, and it's going to go like that. And you won't get it. You won't get a chance at all to get in. There's no reason for them to give you even a couple of seconds to get into Bitcoin here. If I look at a 2-hour, right, you can see how there's a massive divergence. Trying to look to see if there's a potential target to the downside, but it's really just 42K. I think you could even short it from right here and just ride it lower. Say your stop at like 58 something. I think it's fine from a trading perspective. I don't see anything wrong with it. Brian would say a lot more about this, but for me, I like to just keep it simple. And it looks like as long as we're below this trend heuristic, I would lean bearish. I would look for that 42K, 44 to 42K liquidation level to be hit. And then I would buy like crazy. That seems to be like a Max Payne scenario. Just boom, that check mark. Checkmate in some cases. Couple coins I'm watching. I mean, obviously Rune. So Rune hit our target, right? Look at that. Look at how well Chaos worked there. Just created that little Chaos level off the W bottom and it tagged 4.669. Boom, easy. That was huge profits for me. I took some leverage trades down here, increased my high risk. Keep in mind, this is my very high risk account. I increased it by over 30% in just the past like 4 days from this big rally. Mainly trading Optimism, Rune, and Solana. Big ones being Optimism and Rune. These helped me way more than Solana. Solana didn't really move that much. And you can see how it really was just one candle, 1 4-hour candle that moved Solana, while at least Optimism like continually went up for a couple days, and same with Rune. Solana is just like one scam candle, and now it's getting ready to roll over. I think Bitcoin was similar, right? One scam candle, yeah. So Bitcoin was just this one right here. I think it was a little bit better than Solana, but not much. But things like Rune did, it was great for me. It has to break down there. It is already on the other side of the trend heuristic channel, so I'm interested to see what will happen with things like Rune. Like if Bitcoin rolls over, I'm pretty sure Rune will also, and all these altcoins, but I'm not as bearish on them as I am on Bitcoin. And you can actually look at the liquidations on these. I love trading. So if you go to the heat map, right, you click on symbol, you can then put in whatever you're interested in. So in this case, I've got Rune. Okay. And we've got liquidations all the way up 3.8, but we want to go back like 1 month. And you can see you have liquidations here at 3.1. Not that many, to be honest. I don't think it's as accurate. Liquidation heat map is not nearly as accurate on these smaller coins as it is on Bitcoin. But I just thought I'd show it just so you guys can see that you can do it. Like for example, you can look, and it works on the lower time frames. But these kind of like higher time frames, it's kind of hard because there's just not that much history yet, not like with Bitcoin. These are new products, but you can see how going down to 1.2, $1 would like liquidate a lot of people. But I feel like it kind of goes without saying. It's obvious, at least to me, it's obvious. But maybe people who are newer to trading, it's not as obvious. It's like 1.2 would be the big buy level for Optimism, all the way down to like 1.1. That would be where you'd want to definitely accumulate, where a lot of people would get liquidated. Same up here, 1.8 and 2. Those are the big liquidation levels to watch out for. You can see even now it's bouncing a little bit for Optimism. 4-hour chart broke down, fully bearish. We hit a 9. Daily is still kind of bullish, but I don't think it looks great. I'm really in the like no man's land camp right now, but on a weekly chart, over a long enough time span, I'm bullish on this, especially with how like this weekly chart looks. But I'm thinking we've got 3 days. This could reverse. We get one last liquidation wick, and then boom, we go. That's what I'm looking for. I've exited all of my leverage positions right now. I'm waiting and watching on the sidelines. However, I am spot long. In most of these coins, I'm almost fully spot long. If there's a pullback, I will jump into leverage positions and do 2 to 10x leverage. A lot of cases 2, 3x to be safer, but in a couple cases I will do like 10x leverage near that pullback area once I see it bottoming on these lower time frames. But I would recommend staying away from leverage right now. Just avoid it. Save yourself the pain, the headache. You'll feel better. You'll be happier. Life is much easier without leverage. You can sleep well. So that's my recommendation until we potentially get that 44,000 liquidation wick. Okay, same thing for Solana, Rune, Optimism. I mean, I could look at a bunch of other altcoins, but really at the end of the day, it's all going to be the same. And the best recommendation I can give to you guys is don't focus on what Bitcoin is doing and have a plan for the coins that you're interested in. Like, look at all the various altcoins. You can look at the top 100. You can look at new projects. Everything's kind of moves together. You're not really, in my opinion, you're not really diversified. But try to look for the big movers. Like Optimism moved a lot from 130 to 160. So I'm very invested and very interested in Optimism. And I'm going to be trading it like crazy over the next couple weeks and months. I think it's going to do extremely well. If this W pattern can break out right here, this looks like a W bottoming pattern to me. I mean, we can go to $3. Easy 50% move. But I think over time it can go even higher than that. I'm very confident in optimism. And anything that's really a leverage tradable product, I think is probably if Binance has decided they're going to put it on their futures platform, then that is definitely a long-term project that is not going to have rug pulls or anything like that. And I prefer to 2-3x leverage something rather than trying to find a very, very new project, because I don't like getting rug pulled or having any kind of any chance of someone running away with my money. I'd rather lose it myself. I know there's certain people that like to avoid leverage, but I think leverage is a tool that, as long as you can manage well with stop losses, it's no different than trading with spot. So that's kind of my strategy. But if you prefer to do like little lady strategy, then you can look for those lower level coins. But the fact still remains that if Bitcoin drops to like 42,000, that is probably going to be your best buying opportunity for those altcoins. And that's the number one thing I would be looking out for. And setting alerts. I mean, I'm going to set alerts right now. I don't even have them set. How irresponsible. Like when Bitcoin starts dropping. Set one above too, just in case it does go above. But I'm really leaning towards the bear side. We'll see how it plays out. All right, sorry I couldn't be live today, guys. Hopefully you enjoy the recording. Remember, the school starts this Monday on the 16th, so only 4 more days. If you know anyone, please consider suggesting them. I think you can book if they want to know something specific about the school, you can book a call with Josh, and I think he has a special discount. So if you made it to the end of this video, now you know about the special discount we're offering for people that book a call with Josh. Not only do you find out about the school find out a lot more information about the school, he can help you work on a potential trading plan, and he can give you a discount on the school, which I think it's something like potentially 20% discount. I'm not sure. Can't remember, but I think there is a discount if you don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure if you go on a call, you will get something. All right. Hopefully you guys have a great Thursday, and I will see you on the site. Bye, everybody.